Hello, everyone, and welcome to the fourth episode of Balls Out Sports Podcast. I'm Remy. This is my co-host Jerry, and you ready to talk sports?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. We had pretty crazy week in the NFL, or I guess a pretty crazy week coming up in the NFL. First game last night. What are your thoughts about the Bengals Ravens?
That was a pretty good game. Yeah, it was a pretty good game until the second half. It got ugly when Joe Burrow went out. I think in the first half, the Ravens had like 30 rush yards, so it was really pretty even. What was the score? It was like 14 at halftime. It was like
I couldn't tell you. I stopped watching the second half. I had to watch the highlights on YouTube after I got home.
It was a very close score at halftime, and then Joe Burrow got hurt, and like the whole energy just shifted, and Lamar Jackson just took over. As a team, they just took over. It just got bad. I think Odell had like 100 and some yards with only 4 catches. He didn't even score a touchdown.
Yeah, Odell was looking like his old self yesterday, which he tends to do. You know, he'll give you little glimpses of his old self, and yeah, gives us a little bit of nostalgia.
He was going off.
So I heard you say Burrow gets hurt in the second half, but from what you were reading earlier, Bengals are getting investigated, I believe, because there's a chance that he was hurt previously and the Bengals didn't disclose it, but they're saying that, oh no, he got hurt during the game. So what's the, because obviously like you can't be lying to the NFL saying people are healthy when they hurt.
Yeah, so basically they were saying there was a video of him online earlier in the day or maybe like a day before the game or something, and he had a brace on his wrist. So he had the wrist injury already, and then he re-aggravated it in the game when he had threw that. I forgot who he threw the touchdown to, but he had just threw a touchdown, and it was right before the half ended, and that was his last play of the game. But basically, they delete, and then they said the Bengals deleted the video off like the internet. So,
this is a video posted by the Bengals?
Yeah, so it's it makes it look even worse now that
they snitched on themselves.
And they're saying that if they get like caught, if they get enough evidence to prove it, like they're doing that, then they possibly could lose like a draft pick or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that. It was a draft pick, or it could be, just a hefty fine. Which either way, that looks that doesn't look good on the franchise. And yeah, I mean, I don't think the players have anything to do with that disclosure. I don't think it's the players' job to notify the NFL. I think that's the team's job.
Yeah.
So if you are going to drop the ball and not tell the NFL that your guy's hurt, maybe you shouldn't be posting about him being hurt, hours or days before the game.
Yeah.
But yeah. So either way, Joe Burrow not there in the second half. Ravens stay strong, finish the game beating them by 14 points. They now move to 8-3, which in this AFC puts them in second place behind the Chiefs.
Yep.
Do you think that the Ravens are a threat to the Chiefs?
Yeah.
For that number 1 seed.
Yeah. Because number 1, we're gonna get there obviously, but the Chiefs have a tough matchup coming up this week. And then also, the Ravens have just been in like, other than the Eagles, I feel like that's like probably one of the only other teams that we've seen in like tip-top shape, like this season. Like we're like, okay, yeah, they
not missing too many people. They're really doing what they're doing with their full group. What do you mean by tip-top shape? Or just like they balling out, looking good?
Yeah, like they balling out. They look good. They look good. So I think they're a threat to the Chiefs because the Chiefs haven't looked like themselves this season.
Right. I do think it's interesting that those are two teams that have had electric quarterbacks, electric offenses, and this is the first year, and it happened at the same time for both of them, that they get incredible defenses. Then now they have just like the most insane defenses to back up those quarterbacks. I think that's really cool, really interesting. It means that they have to do less work And I think that's why we say the Chiefs haven't been themselves. I feel like if Patrick Mahomes had to and got into a 15-yard slump, he would, tell the defense, like, all right, y'all do your work, I'll do my work, and he can put up 300 yards in the second half.
Yeah.
I just feel like he hasn't had to. Now that the Ravens are getting closer to them, maybe they might mentally, like, realize, okay, now we got to kick it up a gear, or else we're going to lose that number 1 seed, and no one wants to play an extra game in the playoffs. So.
Feel that.
Let's talk about upcoming games. You want to start? Do you want to just segue into that, the Eagles Chiefs, or any other games you want to talk about first before we get to that one? Because that's a juicy matchup.
Eagles Chiefs. Yep, that's gonna be a good one. Eagles coming off a bye week, 8-1, right?
Eagles 8-1, Chiefs 7-2. This is
But the Chiefs have been in some close matchups where it's, they some games they should have lost, and like I was just saying right before, they haven't really looked like themselves. For a team to have so much offensive firepower and so much defensive firepower, they haven't really looked like they just won in Super Bowl last year,
Right. I think as much as some people, and especially the people who make memes, like to clown Juju Smith-Schuster, I think he genuinely was a good addition to that, because even though he's not Tyreek Hill level, he still has played alongside a number 1, we're not going to say receiver because Travis Kelce isn't a receiver, but a number 1 pass catcher. He was playing with Antonio Brown, so he knows what it's like to, have someone else catch more stuff than you.
Yep.
So he just thrives on the fact that every now and then when Kelce gets double teamed, he got the one-on-one, boom, he could make something happen. Obviously, as I said earlier, nothing close to Tyreek Hill, but I do think that's something that the Chiefs' offense misses. But also, as I also said, the Chiefs have a crazy defense for the first time in the Patrick Mahomes era of these Kansas City Chiefs, and that's going to be a big deal breaker, I think.
Yeah.
Big deal breaker. When it comes to this game specifically, it's gonna need to be the defense that's gonna have to carry, not necessarily carry the Chiefs, but yeah, they're definitely gonna have to help out Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, because Eagles offense, as you said, we've seen them in tip-top shape. We see them look good out there.
Third in points per game.
What was that post you sent me the other day about Antonio Brown?
Or AJ?
My bad. I was just talking about him. AJ Brown.
AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill, and Jettis.
Yep.
Jay Jettis.
Yep.
It was bench cut.
Yeah. So I was about to say that AJ Brown really been turning into a beast this season. I really like what I'm seeing from him.
Yep.
And Jerry sent me a post the other day that said start, bench, cut, and it was Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown, and
Tyreek Hill.
Yep. So now let's ask the hard question: what would your order be? Start, bench, cut for those 3 players. We're gonna have to go off of this season.
If you're gonna go off this season, Justin Jefferson has only played 5 games.
That's the thing. The cut part of that is very easy if you're going off of only this season.
I'm starting AJ Brown. I'm benching Tyreek Hill. Just based off the season. And
I'm gonna do the opposite.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to do the opposite, because here's the thing. AJ Brown benefits from Jalen Hurts' long, deep, his deep throws that they work. They work very well together. They complement each other, versus it don't matter who you are, you do complement Tyreek Hill, or at least he compliments you, because he's just that guy.
I can feel that.
Right? It doesn't matter what the name on the back of your jersey is. If you're throwing one of those, quick slants to Tyreek Hill, and he, is able to get around that first line of the defense, he's going 20, 30 yards minimum.
Yeah.
versus AJ Brown is like
So
Jalen Hurts throwing him balls, but when it was what's his face in Tennessee. How am I forgetting his name? He was literally starting until not that long ago. Poor guy.
Yeah, I forgot to. But
Ryan Tannehill.
There you go.
Damn, I was about to be really mad at myself if I didn't find that one off the top of my head. So yeah, Eagles Chiefs. My prediction. I think the Eagles are going to take this one. I think they have. I think overall they're going to gear their game plan towards trying to kind of suffocate the Chief. I feel like they feel really bad that they lost the Super Bowl, obviously, and I think they're going to try and show up the Chiefs this weekend.
Yeah.
Or not this weekend, on Monday night. And really they're going to try and get at their throats as a small mini revenge.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Eagles too. I got Eagles on that one.
I'm looking at the upcoming games. I want to talk. There we go. Jets Bills. That's one.
Jets and Bills.
That's one that interests me because. So hear me out. If you were to just look at the two teams, 4-5 Jets, 5-5 Bills. Just blindly, if you don't know football, you're like, oh, this should be an even matchup. But any type of odds maker is gonna say that the Bills have at least a 55% chance of winning. Some websites say 60, 70, etc. But I think the Jets defense is really, really good, and the talk of this, these past couple of weeks has been the turnovers from Bills quarterback Josh Allen.
Yeah, I think.
Just give me quick insight what you think on this game, because obviously the Jets, that's your team. So
yeah, of course.
I want to hear what you got to say. So yeah, I just think the defense might have a chance to overpower.
Yeah, of course I'm gonna be biased because it's my team, but also we already beat them this season, and as you said, our defense is elite. Has been holding us down this season. I think Zach Wilson has been playing pretty good. He's been getting overlooked because he gets hit a lot, and I guess he's not really much of a closer. So his good games, like where he'll have like almost 300 yards, and people saying, oh, he had a bad game, or this is his fault. He's been doing better with taking accountability for the losses though, also. And like you said, the Bills have been having turnover problems. I think we're gonna keep them to like a minimum at scoring. I think we're gonna come out with a W for sure.
Yeah, I don't think. I think no matter who wins the game, I don't think the winner will have more than 20 points. I think it's going to be a 17-9, 17-10 type of game.
And
perhaps.
Also, whoever wins this game, I don't really think it even makes like a difference, like playoff and other things. Because I don't see either one of these teams like winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't see them winning a Super Bowl, and I don't see them either of them being guaranteed a playoff spot. To be quite honest, just because in their division they do have the Dolphins, who are taking that automatic spot, right?
Yeah.
So now they both got to get their records, because this is the AFC. You got to remember, this is the AFC, stacked AFC this year. If you're at 500 in the AFC, you're probably not. You might not make the playoffs.
Yeah, the Bills got a tough schedule too coming up. They got, after us, they got the Eagles and then the Chiefs right after that. And then they got
And what's the last 2-3 games of the season looking like?
Cowboys, Chargers, Patriots, last game of the season, Dolphins. So they got a
They haven't played them twice yet. Okay, they did beat the Dolphins the first time that they played them, but that was early in the season. And so I think it was when the Dolphins, were really viewed as the hot team.
Yeah.
And so them beating the Dolphins was really viewed as a huge, huge success. But, now that we're a little bit farther in the season, I don't think things are going to be quite the same.
Yep.
So yeah, Bills Jets should be an interesting game. Honestly, I don't know why the odds makers are saying that it's gonna be that lopsided for
It's gonna be a
that
wipeout.
lopsided for the Bills. But
Wow.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong and maybe it is. We'll have to see. But I think that Jets defense is a little bit, you know, i- is legit. It's a serious defense, and I
Yes.
think we gotta take it seriously. Um, yeah, another game that I really want to see, which is gonna have some implications, because we just talked about the Ravens being 8-3.
Mm-hmm.
Steelers and Browns are playing this week, and they are both 6-3. So that means that someone's coming out of this game at 7-3. Um, we talked about the Ravens closing in on the Chiefs. Do you think that potentially the Steelers or the Browns could close in
Bro, the
on the Chiefs?
Steelers.
Because I could see the Browns a little bit more than the Steelers, strictly because, oh wait, never mind, Deshaun Watson's done for the season, isn't he?
Yeah. I t-
Never mind, I take that back. I don't see anyone in this division catching up to the Ravens.
Bro, the Steelers are like surprisingly really good this season. What's the coach name? Mike. What's the name?
Oh, Mike Tomlin,
Mike
head
Tom-
coach.
No,
Yeah.
no, not Tomlin. From the Steelers coach.
Yeah, the Steelers head coach,
It's
Mike Tomlin.
Okay, yeah, he's
The
he's
black dude always wears glasses.
yeah he's doing a good job over there for a team that hasn't really like seen a lot of positives since AB and Ben Roethlisberger.
And you never say that without missing out one name. And Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell. Oh yeah, Le'Veon Bell. How can you forget? Yeah,
He fell off real quick, but that's how it works with running backs. They great first few seasons. I mean, look at
Damn.
Saquon, look at Derrick Henry, look at Le'Veon Bell, and then you got to work really hard to keep your relevancy and keep your stats up as the years keep on going. But it does happen. We do get Adrian Petersons, we do get Marshall Folks, we do get people who stand the test of time at the running back position.
Yeah, I think you said no Deshaun Watson.
No Deshaun Watson on the Browns, and the Steelers quarterback is Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, I think they're gonna take that.
You think who's going to take that?
Steelers.
You think the Steelers going to take that?
Steelers taking that.
This is going to be I think there's going to be another low-scoring game. Two crazy defenses going at each other. So, yeah.
Nah, I don't think. I think the Steelers. I think it's gonna be a blowout. I think that one gonna be a blowout.
Really?
Steelers.
There's George Pickens. Yeah, because offensively, without Deshaun Watson,
What do you have?
I don't know who the backup quarterback is.
Yeah.
Can you check who's starting quarterback for the Browns this week against the Steelers? Is that something you can find out? Because otherwise, yeah, I mean, Steelers, Browns, yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Steelers too. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, though.
Dorian Thompson Robinson.
Dorian Thompson Robinson, you said.
Yeah, he got two last names, so.
Where I remember someone pointing out as I was watching a basketball game, one of my roommates being like, "Yo, why this dude name's so long?" And they were talking about Nikhil Alexander Walker, and I'm like, well, he just got two last names, poor guy. Nah, but yeah, I don't know. Is he a rookie? I'm not familiar with his game.
I couldn't tell you, brother.
All right then. Well, we both going with the Steelers for this one, but hopefully we can be proven wrong. I like being proven wrong by quarterbacks that people don't believe in.
It's crazy because they had a different quarterback, a backup who already played 4 games this season, and he started 2 of them, and he went 1-1 in those 2 games.
And what's his name?
PJ Walker. So but they still went with somebody else.
Right. Well,
I'll see.
Interesting. That's looking like the San Francisco quarterback situation last year, where you like
they always got quarterback situations.
Yeah, I guess last game that caught my eye for this weekend is Vikings Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have two great stories. Broncos are on a roll, 3 games in a row, and one of the teams in that streak is the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's obviously, as we mentioned earlier in the episode, big win, big boy team, big boy win. Vikings, you think they can only get better from here? Not for sure. No Justin Jefferson for sure for this week. Apparently, the timeline says that it's all on his own time. He's going to be deciding when he comes back.
Yep.
But yeah, the team has cleared him to play, and but they've been rolling without him, doing great. And this is now week 3 of Josh Dobbs in Minnesota. Even more time with the offense, even more time with the playbook. So we'll see if he's able to execute a little bit more. Obviously, he does always have that option if he can't execute of just running out the pocket like he has done the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to see more passes, see if this guy's for real, because he's intrigued me this season, to say the least. But Broncos, 3-game win streak. One of them is the Chiefs.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, beat the Bills.
It is still Russell Wilson, bro.
Russell Wilson. Man, I don't even know what to think. I mean, I had so much I regarded him in such a high way until he joined the Broncos, to be honest.
I think everybody did.
I think it is very interesting. It's a different scenario because one of them changed teams, the other one didn't change teams, but it's very similar to Klay Thompson, where you're used to, all-star caliber numbers, all-time great numbers. I mean, Russell Wilson was bringing his team to Super Bowls, So, and then all of a sudden, just kind of started falling off. Yep. But, hopefully I can see them bounce back, because if one of these wins against a better team like the Vikings or the Chiefs comes down to it being Russell Wilson making the right play at the right time, people might start looking at the Broncos differently, because I mean, they go on a 4-win win streak, and 1 or 2 of those wins is all because Russell Wilson. People won't start believing in the Broncos again.
Yeah, last week they had a close game, and he made big plays down the stretch. So
he closed. That's what I'm saying. If he gets 1 or 2 more of those, in these upcoming games,
they're gonna be like, "Is Russell Wilson back?"
Right. It definitely could be a narrative changer for Russell Wilson. That's what. Yeah, that's kind of
this
the
gonna
words
be
that weren't coming to my mind.
This gonna be I think this is gonna be a good game, because the Vikings have a lot to prove right now, and Josh Dobbs himself has a lot to prove still, because anybody can have. We've seen these Cinderella story quarterbacks before, and they'll be one-hit wonders, right?
Well, so. I like to bring you back to the previous one-hit wonder story that happened in Minnesota, and his name's Case Keenum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you were to ask, 100,000 people in this country or even in this state, do you know what Case Keenum's doing right now? They would have absolutely no fucking clue. But there was a half a season where Case Keenum was a god. Stephon Diggs was a god. Case Keenum was right there because he's the one who threw him the ball.
Yeah.
But, we've seen Cinderella stories, and we love them out here. We'll take them out here in Minnesota, honestly.
So we got to see. Like I said, it's still Russell Wilson on the other side. So I think it's gonna be a good game, and like you said, it could come down to last drive. So if we can see Russell Wilson do his thing, and he might get people back on his side a little bit. But I could see the Broncos coming out with this. Like you said, they're on a 3-game win streak.
Mm-hmm.
I could see them turning it into 4.
There you go. Yeah, either way, if no matter which team, if it does come down to a last minute drive, a game winning drive, um, yeah, either way, whichever team does that tomorrow, we're gonna have a beautiful, or the next day, we're gonna have a beautiful story because
Oh yeah.
Josh Dobbs and Russell Wilson are both guys that if they do, pull out a legitimate big time win for their team, are gonna be regarded differently
Yo.
from now on. So, yeah, that sums up Vikings, Broncos. Any other matchups in the NFL coming up this week that you had your eye on, or?
I think that's about it.
All right, cool. Let's talk NBA. Man, I don't even know what I want to start with. Let's start with the Bucks. I have something to say about the Bucks.
Let's
Something
go.
that might be seen as controversial. But you know how like Bradley Beal on the Wizards, he was him,
Mhm.
like 30 some points a game
Yeah.
type of scoring, right? Right after John Wall got injured and had to leave stay on the sideline, Bradley Beal goes off, and then he switches teams, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's just one of those situations where he was with the Wizards and he was just the best guy on a bad team, and that's what resulted in his personal success. What if that was the case with Damian Lillard? I'm not saying it is. This is a super small sample size. This is 10 games, right?
Yeah.
But what if that's the case with Damian Lillard? And the only reason why he was winning is because he was, playing the Portland Trailblazers.
I mean, Dame. I don't think that really takes away from Dame's talent, because I think that would make him better, because that means what? He was playing with a trash team, right?
Yes, he was playing with a
And
trash
he
team.
was putting up insane numbers, people forget that he took them to the
That's why I'm
conference
saying
finals.
Bradley Beal was doing that same thing, putting up insane numbers.
But Dame, I feel like
I
Dame,
think the only person who was better than him at scoring during the time where he was doing this stuff was James Harden. MVP, James Harden.
I feel like Dame only plays bad when he plays with Giannis. Like when he plays by himself, when he plays on the Bucks by himself, he had like 38 and three
So
quarters.
his choices are being good and not having a championship, or being bad and not having a championship, because the only reason why you're on this team is because we traded away a bunch of pieces that could get us a championship, and now you're being bad.
Dame was never the answer, and Dame never wanted to be there in the first place. He don't fit there. I won't say
in Portland?
in Milwaukee.
In Milwaukee?
Yeah.
What you mean he didn't want to go there?
Bro, he got traded.
He
there.
wanted to go, but he wanted to go to the Heat.
Exactly. He never wanted to go there.
And so now here's the tricky part, because if you're Milwaukee, there's no way you're trading him to the Heat later, even if he stays for like 5-6 years, because that's a in-conference rival. You don't want to have to play against Damian Lillard on the opposing team.
Yeah. But you also got to think, like you just said, this is a small sample size. It's only been 10 games.
As I said, I love being proven wrong. So if he comes out and starts averaging the same or a little bit similar numbers to what he was averaging in Portland, and Giannis averages similar numbers to what he was averaging last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, man, is that team going to be scary.
I'm looking at them how I'm looking at the Clippers. You just give it some time. Just give it time.
I'm sorry, we got to back up. That was the wildest thing I've ever heard.
Give it time.
You're looking at them the same way you're looking at the Clippers?
Give it time. You saw Westbrook today, what he said.
What did he say?
Bring me off the bench. He requested to come off the bench.
What was it? James Harden said something like, he said once we figure our shit out and we get everything together, it's gonna be scary.
Bro, I believe him and I believe in that, but I just want him to shut up and hoop.
I believe the number one comment on that post.
Bro, I just want
Homie said, "Bro, it's scary right now."
it is. It is. I just want him to just shut up and go hoop, bro. Once he go hoop, people going to shut up. You going to see. Cuz PG is already like playing like an MVP right now. Kawhi, I think Kawhi is just tired. Kawhi needs conditioning.
I've definitely been impressed by PG this year.
Yeah.
It kicked off from that game against the Lakers,
Mm-hmm.
where he fouls out. I can't remember if it was just at the beginning of overtime or right before.
Right before the end of the fourth, I believe.
Right before the end of there you go. Yeah, he fouls out, and if he doesn't, he greatly affects the game. At least I'll never say they would have won.
No, they win that game.
Yeah, I'm
If
sure.
PG doesn't foul out, they win that game.
The outcome has changed. Let's just put it that way. The outcome has changed. But yeah, I mad respect for Paul George. Ever since that injury happened, and you saw that he was thinking of coming back and all that stuff. I mean, you can only applaud that kind of drive. So, yeah, what if he makes that leap, that pushes enough and makes that leap that he becomes the number one guy, and Kawhi is no longer the number one guy on the Clippers? How do you think that could affect the dynamic?
I think Kawhi is humble enough to be like, okay, I'll take the back seat.
See, but I don't know that for sure. The thing is, we don't really know Kawhi. He don't do enough interviews. He don't do no Netflix shows. He don't do no sports specials. He just hoops. So we don't really know if he's a person who's resentful, because he never would come out and say, I don't like this, I don't like that.
I think he's just cool with the players on his team. Like, I think he just close with PG and them, like, for real. And they just, like, got an understanding.
So he just wouldn't, you don't think he would mind at all?
Yeah, and I don't even think it be about that a lot of times. I think, first of all, if you watch the games, there a lot of times in close games, Kawhi lets PG take the last shot. Did you see you saw last game when he took the game-winning shot? He got he got a wedgie.
Where he got the wedgie? Yeah, that's a little bit farther. Sorry, that's a little bit farther down my list. But yeah, Clippers Nuggets 108, 111. Or wait. Yeah, Clippers Nuggets 108, 111. Jokic went off. Paul George went off, and he thought he was gonna go off one more time. And how much time was left when he gets that wedgie? Like seconds, right?
Seconds, bro.
Yeah, less than a minute for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was definitely one of the. Yeah, it was like less than 10 seconds even. Yeah, one of the crazier wedgies that I've seen personally.
Bro, I was dying laughing when I saw that. I watched it live.
I would be. I'd be so mad at myself, because like it's not even like there's a chance at an offensive rebound or anything like that. Like it's just a jump ball at half court. Like, it's
but they won the jump. They won the jump. They low key won the jump ball, and then they like fumbled it around and just they never got a shot off. Mm-hmm. So they had multiple chances to win the game. They didn't execute.
Right. Yeah, and that was for the in-season tournament, correct?
I think so.
Yep. So that's what I wanted to get to. We had a whole bunch, because our last episode was recorded on Tuesday. We had a whole bunch of in-season tournament games, and I wanted to get to those because, I mean, we had some crazy stuff. Pacers, 76ers. Pacers 132, 76ers 126. Tyrese Halliburton goes off for 38 points.
Didn't they beat them twice?
Yeah, but I'm talking about specifically the in-season tournament win.
Yeah, Halliburton is nice, bro. And then he in that span of those two games, he had 0 turnovers.
Yeah, I saw that. 30 something assists? 30?
Like that,
31
yeah.
maybe?
He's nasty.
Yeah, he literally has over 30 over the span of 2 games, over 30 assists, 0 turnovers, and I think we can say a shit ton of points over 2 games.
And who did they trade? Who they trade? You think that trade was even? Him versus Sabonis?
I think both teams are happy with what happened. I mean,
I don't think the Pacers have been to the. I don't think the Pacers have been to the playoffs yet.
Since Paul George.
Since yeah, probably, but since Sabonis left too. I don't think since they've made that trade, Sabonis been to the playoffs.
Yeah, well, there's only one season, yeah, but this season, I don't know, man. The Pacers just look different this year than they do last year.
Yeah, they got Benedict Mathurin coming off the bench. 6 man, he's fire, bro. I think this is second year. Buddy Hield over there.
Yep,
Miles
Buddy
Turner.
Hield. Yeah, I think this is a good year for 6 men. There's a lot of people coming off the bench and balling.
Yeah.
Just for a lot of different teams. Naz Reid for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Bro. If who did I say was gonna get most improved?
Tyrese Maxey. But he's not a 6 man though.
If Maxey wasn't, I know, but if Maxey wasn't hooping the way he was hooping, I think Naz Reid would be a good candidate for most improved too. He been balling out.
I think. I don't think he'll have the increase in numbers because he was solid last year already. Like I believe he was already a 12-point per game.
They paid him this offseason
and he balling.
Like he just got an increased role, so he been balling.
Yeah, no, he's definitely the 6 man on that Minnesota Timberwolves team.
I saw him at Chipotle one time. Yeah,
that's kind of impressive.
Yeah.
How much taller than you is he?
Bro, we was like the same. I saw him from far away. Not even far away. He was probably like 10 feet away. And he looked at me like, you supposed to be where I'm at. But he was probably maybe like, if anything, he was probably maybe like an inch taller than me.
Since we talking about these Timberwolves.
Yeah.
They played the Warriors in season tournament game. They win by 3 points.
Almost
and for some reason, that is it. The last thing people are talking about is the fact that the Timberwolves beat the Warriors by 3 points.
Yeah, sure.
And I feel like it would have been that way even without the altercation, just for the simple fact that Steph Curry wasn't in the game to start with, and yeah, just I don't know, if your star player is not in the game and you lose the game, I feel like as a fan you just feel like they didn't really beat our team though. Like they beat us tonight, but they didn't beat our team. And then obviously once the altercation happens, you think it's gonna be a blowout for the Timberwolves, that they're gonna absolutely blow out the Warriors. Warriors hung in there, but I thought it was absolutely crazy the stat that I saw that Draymond Green, the past 13 times that Steph Curry wasn't in playing, like that he was sidelined, or maybe it wasn't. Nah, it's the other way around. The past 13 times that Draymond Green has gotten ejected were times that Steph Curry was on the sideline and wasn't playing that night. Where he plays frustrated because he's like, gosh, we don't have this safety blanket that can just, get us back into games whenever we need. And I think he plays just a little bit more frustrated, a little bit more angsty when he doesn't have his boy there. And yeah, it showed. It showed.
Yeah, that is funny because I was on the train with Leo before the game, and we was like, oh, the Wolves about to play the Warriors tonight. And then he was like, yeah, Curry's not playing. I was like, oh yeah, pre Draymond ejection. So
if you pray for a Draymond ejection long enough, it's gonna happen. That's for sure.
Bro, he waited. That's
crazy.
He wasted no time. 1:30 into the game, bro, and then I'm not gonna lie to you, Steve Kerr, bro. He is a terrible coach, bro. He does not discipline those players. I could tell.
You talked about that earlier in the season, that he was a little bit overrated as a head coach.
When Curry retires, people gonna see it. Cause I think Curry gonna be there for a long time. I think they gonna give him Popovich type like treatment. So when Curry leave, they gonna see like, yeah, he's not really that great of a coach.
Would you have him as a top 3 coach in the NBA right now?
I don't know. It's a lot of good coaches in the league right now.
I would have.
You got Spoelstra.
I would have Eric Spoelstra, Greg Popovich,
Udoka,
and
you got what's the coach from the Celtics name? What's his name?
Brad Stevens.
No. He's their CEO. No, he's not. He's their GM now.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, congrats to him.
Yeah, he's their GM now. He quit. He didn't quit, but he moved up like 2 years ago, and that's when Udoka became coach. And then Udoka came from Brooklyn to go coach in Boston.
Oh yeah.
He was one of our assistant coaches.
Yeah, I really like Tyronn Lue. I mean, I don't like the roster that has been assembled for him. For the Clippers, but I think if there's anyone who can talk to them and try and figure it out, it's him.
It hasn't really showed this season, but Taylor Jenkins, the Grizzlies coach, he's a pretty good coach. Who else? I don't know. It's a lot of good coaches in the league, bro. It's a lot of good coaches. I can't even say that about our coach. He be pissing me off sometimes.
Hey, it's okay. What was it? It could be Steve Nash. There you go.
Nah. You good on Steve Nash. I love Steve Nash,
playing.
But coaching, nah.
So there's a couple performances I wanted to highlight. I saw the other night, 2 maybe 3 nights ago, the Lakers playing the Kings, right? Sacramento Kings, and Anthony Davis had 9 points in 35 minutes, I believe it was.
Yep.
Of action. That's unacceptable coming from Anthony Davis, right?
I mean,
it's on brand with what we've come with what the world has come to expect of him.
That's why I'm not really like, it's AD. I'm used to it, and I'm not really a Lakers fan. Like, it's like the Lakers fans. I'm usually just a fan of like just good basketball, but Laker fans make it so hard to cheer for the Lakers, bro. Cause they just suck, bro. They suck. I hate Laker fans.
You hate Laker fans?
Yes, bro. They're so annoying, bro.
Who's an annoying fan base?
Celtics.
Yeah, the Celtics apparently is a pretty annoying fan base.
Boston fans
We're
are
obviously
annoying.
talking about if you're not from, like, if you're part of the Celtics nation, you're not going to think they're annoying. You're going to think it's the craziest crowd of all time.
Bro, the ones that are from Boston are the most annoying too, bro, because of their accent, and they just talk so much, bro. They don't shut up.
They do have a lot of championships to talk about, so I'd be talking a little bit more if my T-Wolves were a little bit more productive.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of Celtics, they beat the 76ers, and 9-2. They have the best record in the East now.
Yes, sir.
What are your thoughts on the development in the East as we approach the All-Star break? By the time the All-Star break comes around, how much shift do you think there's going to be in that rankings in the East? Do you think the Bucks are going to stagnate as much as they have? Do you think the Heat are going to perform as well as they have? What are your overall thoughts? I want to kind of share that with you.
I think I told you last episode, the Miami, I never worry about them in the regular season. They're on a 7-game win streak right now. They're in 3rd place in the East.
Mm-hmm. No joke, Miami.
Yeah.
They're right where we thought, the 76ers were going to be.
Yeah.
We thought 76ers, we thought the Bucks was going to be a clear number 1, and Celtics right there, and 76ers. That's what everyone had in their mind being the top 3 coming into the season. So, yeah, props to the Heat.
Miami, yeah, bro. Miami, they do this every year. Like people know. And then Hero's hurt. Hero's not even playing. Wait till Hero come back. It's gonna be even better
Why do I feel like that happens
every
like
year,
every year? Like,
every
oh my
year,
gosh, Tyler Hero is hurt.
bro.
Oh my goodness, the Heat are balling.
Yeah, then Hero comes back and Hero start balling. It's the same story with the Heat every year, bro. That's why I don't worry about them in the regular season. Spoelstra and Pat Riley know what they're doing over there. They good. Um, who else? Who else we talking about?
Just
Sixers.
Yeah,
the
76ers
East.
Celtics. That's just
Sixers.
overall the East. That's
The
the
Sixers
kind of
have
what I
been
want to know.
looking like good without Harden. They're doing pretty good. Like regarding like all the drama they've been through these past
7 years?
Yes,
How long
that's
Joel
what I'm
Embiid
trying
been
to
in the
count.
league?
All these years, all this drama they've been through, they blossoming, trusting the process, I guess. But we gonna see what that process take them, cause Maxi been
Yeah, I don't
playing.
think they call that anymore. I think the GM who coined that phrase has been long gone.
Ah man,
Yeah, the
Maxey
process is done apparently.
is done.
So, yeah.
Embiid playing like he coming from an MVP season. Maxi playing like Harden. He playing like Harden's supposed to be playing.
That's funny. Yeah, he playing the way
Tobias-
we all pictured Harden playing.
Yeah, Tobias Harris
with the
is
Nets, low key.
yeah, literally. Tobias Harris is playing pretty well this season. Finally,
I think he's finally accepted that he's just
a
like
third option.
yeah, because back when the 76ers gave him a lot of money versus Jimmy Butler a lot of money, a lot of people were like, "What was he worth? Was he worth that? Was he worth losing Jimmy Butler?" And once obviously the world realized that Jimmy Butler was very, very valuable to whatever team he shows up to, and I think it was a little bit of an ego moment for Tobias Harris. And the way that I've seen him play this season is that of a Michael Porter Jr., a guy who's comfortable with being number 3 on the team and being that solid scoring option. When y'all need to swing it to me, I can deliver. And yeah, he's not so much hunting for his shot, so much trying to be that guy that they paid him to be. Yeah, just because that expectation's gone.
People forget he was the guy before he went to Philly in Detroit.
Yeah,
So,
him and Andre Drummond.
Yeah,
I mean, Andre Drummond would just grab a rebound, pass it to Harris, and he would ISO.
easy. And then I'm pretty sure I think he only left because Blake came there and Blake was playing pretty well because Blake had just came from the Clippers and Blake was still low key in his prime. He was getting triple doubles and shit like that.
Yeah, he was an all-star.
Yeah,
he was an all-star on
still
Detroit.
Playing great.
Yeah,
So
I
he
think
was-
that sounds about right with the with the way the timeline's shaping in
Yeah.
my head. So yeah, Celtics, 76ers, Bucks, blah blah blah. I was
the Celtics are like the only team that's really been like fully healthy the whole season. So
yeah, that's
they
I
supposed to
think
be
that's
doing
why
what
I
they
see
doing.
them. I see them staying at the top. Honestly, I
Porzingis,
could see some shift within the. Yeah, I could see some shift within the whole Sixers, Heat, Bucks. I could see them coming back up, potentially grabbing that 4th spot.
3 through like 6 is gonna change a lot. 3 through like 8 is gonna change a lot throughout the whole season in the East. The East is
Top.
it's gonna be up and down. Cause
I think
like,
the East is top heavy, bro.
yeah, they got a lot. I think the East have a lot of good teams, but I think they have a lot of teams that have good runs and then go on bad runs and then go on good runs and then go on bad runs. And you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So I think those are gonna change a lot. That 3 through 8. I think 1 and 2 is most likely gonna be like Boston and Miami or Boston and the Celtics. I mean Boston and the Sixers all year.
Okay.
Something like that. I think
you
Cleveland.
You think they're just gonna be swapping spots here and there until the playoffs finally come around?
I think 3 through 6 is gonna be like Brooklyn, New York, Atlanta, Detroit, Indiana, It's bro. It's a lot of teams in the East, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of teams in the East. I gotta look.
Yeah, I guess Indiana definitely.
Cavs, come on now. And Donovan Mitchell been playing like an MVP.
So where would
Still
you
got
where
the
would you
Bucks.
where would you put the no, right now? Where would you with that? Like your own personal rankings. Where would you have those three teams? Where would you have the Pacers, the Cavs, and the Bucks rank? Just as of today, what you've seen so far this season.
Pacers, Bucks, Cavs. The Pacers have the best record and they've been the most impressive. And I think they beat both of those teams already this season, if I'm not mistaken.
I have a hard time putting the Bucks at 2, but also
You have to right now.
Yeah.
You have to. Like, there's no choice. The Cavs are not even in the top 8 in the East at the moment, but they have played very good games, close games. They just they haven't really been closing.
right.
But they have a lot of talent, young guys, and a lot of potential. You got Garland, you got Evan Mobley and his brother. You got Jared Allen. You got it's a lot of Karis LeVert. It's a lot of dudes over there.
Speaking of young talent, I wanna switch conferences now. This young Thunder team,
Yeah,
I like it. They're playing very well.
J Dub been going crazy.
Yep, and this kind of ties into what I was saying earlier. How I wanted to talk about a couple poor performances or just performances that that should have been better. I mentioned AD. Now I want to mention Wemby, my French man Wemby.
Yeah,
He had 8 points against the Oklahoma City Thunder in an 87 to 123 loss.
I saw that.
Victor Wembanyama going 4 of 15 it was 4 of 15 or 4 of 17, something along those lines. And that just can't happen from Victor Wembanyama.
Nope.
Much less on an in-season tournament game. These games were designed and implemented in the season so that they could have that playoff atmosphere. And if they're gonna have that kind of almost playoff atmosphere, I feel like your stars should be putting up playoff star numbers. And that just wasn't the case. I mean, obviously it's his first season, first time in a big game in the NBA.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna tweak about that too much. But yeah, I was just a little bit disappointed in 8 points in 28 minutes. Yeah. Obviously didn't play too much down the stretch once he realized that they were down, 25, 30 points.
Yeah, but it's like he don't get no pass. He don't get no pass. All the hype he came into the league with, that's what come with it. It was the same with LeBron. It was the same with Kobe. Same with all these dudes when they came in the league. So
that's a great statement. Can you do me a favor and look up how many 10-point game or how many games under 10 points LeBron had in his rookie season?
Probably none.
Probably none. Because I know just recently he had a game. Recently, and by LeBron's standards, so within the past couple of years. He had a game where he didn't score 10 points, and that broke his streak, which was the longest streak of all time with a couple thousand games or something.
LeBron. We're gonna see.
But yeah, I mean, if you can't find that stat, it's not that deep. I was just curious about comparing Wemby to other stars.
Yeah.
In their rookie seasons. Oh well. Yeah, before I close things out, I'm gonna talk about my own team. I'm gonna do my little selfish thing. My little home team over here. The T-Wolves. That's crazy. The T-Wolves. One thing that I really like was obviously Anthony Edwards always been a great dunker. So I feel like his first couple of seasons, when I saw him driving, with like, I'm trying to go through you. I'm trying to get to that rim. If you're not in front of me, I'm gonna dunk on you. And this season, I'm see him using his dribble more purposefully. He's using his dribble to get to his spot to pull up for a jumper. He likes that. He likes those elbow jumpers, like kind of free throw line extended. He likes those, right? So it used to be he would dribble, and once he gets to that spot, he'd be like, "Oh, I have like a few inches on him. Let me get that speed and try and get in." And now there's a center in the paint waiting for you. And versus now this season, when I see him do it, it's way more purposeful. He's getting to where he wants to go, and I'm excited to see Ant Edwards progress because he's leading the Timberwolves in scoring. He's scoring more than he was last year. He's doing some crazy stuff. I'm excited to get to Target Center and watch this man play. So, yeah, that was just my closing note for the day, just a player that I wanted to talk about before we ended. Yeah, any players that you want to talk about before we close out this podcast, someone you were impressed with?
You saw Jay Williams said that the only two people who should be considered MVP right now are Kevin Durant and Jason Tatum. What you think about that?
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really thought about MVP yet. It'd be like thinking about MVP in week 2 of the NFL, you know. But yeah, Jason Tatum's been balling out. I would definitely put. Yeah, but they don't have the record. I was gonna say Shea on the Thunder team. He's averaging like 30 points.
He's
a
top
game.
5 in MVP vote to me right now.
Well, Shea, I guess he's 8th in scoring, so it's not that high of a scoring.
No order for me. I'll put Jokic, Embiid.
I would probably put Jokic, Tatum, and Durant. I kind of agree with Durant, but I think that is going to change within 2 weeks. By the time D-Book gets reestablished in there, it is going to be over because you ain't never heard anyone talk about Kevin Durant for MVP or Steph Curry for MVP during those 2 years together.
Curry need to be in MVP talk right now, but he hurt now. But that man,
we mentioned that last episode that he needs a little bit more help out there.
His back about to break.
Carrying the whole team. He only 6'3",
whole
damn it.
organization.
Nah, that's crazy. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning into episode 4 of Balls Out Sports Podcast. Yeah, we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.